process. You're either frozen by fear or you're not. Clearly, the frozen by fear only lasted moments, and her brain kicked in enough to shut the door, lock the door, and then proceed to call all her roommates after the screaming and crying stopped. No excuse. No excuse. It says from the 911 caller, it says the 911 caller was a friend who went to Dee after coming because she was scared to call and blah, blah, blah. We know that. And it said Xana and Ethan were in her room. So it sounds like they must have been in her room at some point in the night before this happened. She should have been able to determine whether they were fighting or in one of those moods. Obviously, it doesn't state whether she's opened her door several times through the middle of the night in the past. I'm interested in knowing that. Because if she's never done that before, why is she doing it that night and not calling 911? DM stated she looked out her bedroom but didn't see anything. When she heard comments saying someone was in the house, DM stated she opened the door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM stated, then says she heard a male's voice say something like, it's okay, I'm going to help you. Very ominous words. The roommate did not contact authorities for 6 hours despite hearing several of her roommates in distress as well as witnessing the killer. This is unacceptable to me. So don't blame Bullhorn Betty that she has a target on her back. She did it to herself. Who does this? And I'm tired of hearing she was frozen in shock. If she was frozen in shock, she would still be standing at the door. Frozen in shock means just that. Frozen in shock. It doesn't mean I'm frozen in shock but have the brain powers to shut and lock a door. It doesn't mean that she's so frozen in shock that she can pick up a phone and dial all of her roommates to check on them. That doesn't sound to me like she's in shock at those moments. Was she in shock? I'm sure she was. Did that shock subside? I believe it did. Why did she not do more? Why? Dylan stated she opened the door a third time, which we just read. But they're cutting this stuff into this article, making it the point. Again, these are the facts of the case. This is not something I made up. It's not something that I did. Why am I always making it about me? Because everybody on the internet always makes it about me. I did not make these facts up. They are in a statement from a detective that she did these things. Her friend. She seemed to love and care and have a lot of fun with her friends that she left lying on the floor for 6 hours. Whether she was drunk or high, I don't care. This is unexcusable to me. It's helpful to have a safe space in a coloring book. And you're starting to make me get to the point where I tell you maybe you need to go to your safe space in coloring books, right? The research is available. I'm telling you what shock is. Whether you want to believe what shock is, you want to make up what you feel shock should be, you want to give this girl a free pass, that's all on you, baby. Nobody is telling you to change your mind. What I am telling you is you're wrong. Unless you've experienced shock firsthand, which I've given 2 experiences I've had firsthand. One when I was 14 and my parents were almost killed in a car wreck. Couldn't think. I was just standing on the side of the road and my body was just trembling. I was frozen. I was petrified. I could not move. It felt like I was suffocating even though I was breathing. You don't think to shut a door. You don't think to call 911. You don't think to call a roommate, right? She called roommates. If she could call roommates, she could dial 911. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Period. If you have the brain thought to pull over your phone and call all the roommates in the house, you certainly can dial 911. That's fact. That's fact. Ethan Mother has also urged those affected by the tragedy instead look ahead. As suspects makes his way through the court, Stacey Chapin said nothing has changed since Kohberger's arrest and the mourners should direct their anger elsewhere. It comes after sources told News Nation that Xana fought back against her attacker and repeatedly grabbed the knife used in the attack. Sources claim that her fingers were nearly, you can imagine, I'm not going to say it on here, as she fought back. So Dylan, out of all this stuff, heard nothing. Heard nothing. Just a couple whimpers. Just a couple whimpers and a thud. And a strange man in masked black clothing. She had enough gumption, enough unfreeze